back to another episode of 12-inch Figure Fanatic. Remember to subscribe. So today we're going to be opening up the Batman 2.0 Deluxe version. This is, of course, the Ben Affleck version of Batman from Batman and Superman. It is 2.0 because the 1.0 came out before this. Seems logical, right? We're actually going to be doing a side-by-side so we could figure out if it was even warranted. I just did a video on the T1000 2.0. We're going to see if this one was justified in a re-release. Let's take a closer look. I'll tell you, this is one heavy box, and I think it has to do with the display base that it comes with. So just a close-up image. It looks like it's, I don't know, is that a photograph or is that a close-up of the figure? Standard box, really. It's got the usual display window. I have to admit, though, that this isn't my favorite Batman. He's just a little too bulky for me. The Ben Affleck Batman. I like the sleek look of Michael Keaton's version. All right, so it looks like, all right, off the bat, it looks like there's some different accessories from the original figure. I could be wrong. Okay, so yeah, this one's just as chunky as I remember from the 1.0 version. Let's get rid of these plastic pieces here. Oh, those leg pegs are pretty tough. There we go. All right, so let's see what we got here. So the head sculpt is pretty nice. Let's get a close-up there. Boy, the zoom on this is kind of grainy. I apologize. But, there, maybe that's a little bit better. Yeah, the 5 o'clock shadow, you can't really tell in the video, but it's done appropriately. The eyes look very good. Let's get a close-up there. It's got that, not only is it glossy, but it's got a translucent type of effect over the lens. And I will also say that a lot of the features, the textures in the costuming seem more pronounced. I mean, we'll verify in the side-by-side, but I think the texture in the costume was more subdued in the other one. We're definitely going to compare the cape material as well. This is very nicely chosen. It's kind of thick, but at the same time, it's thin enough to where it flows naturally. It doesn't look stiff like the original Batman Returns figures. And yeah, the belt is very nicely weathered too. I don't think this was as nicely detailed in the original as well. So far I'm very pleased. Let's see what else we have here. So we have the alternate head sculpt. And it came with, I don't think the original had this neck piece here. So it has the rolling eyeballs, of course. And the likeness on him is better than the original as well, if I have to say off the bat. The texturing on the hair is also better. I don't like, it looks like this is a separate bang piece up here. You could definitely see the difference. The line comes all the way around here. you could tell it's a separate piece. Otherwise, looks very nicely textured. They did good with this sculpt. All right, so this one has the mouth slightly open. That's interesting because in the original figure, you just had one masked version and you switched out the mouthpieces. And there were several options. This one, you essentially have 2 head sculpts and 3 mouth changes. And it's just magnetic. Oh no, it's not magnetic. It's sort of pegged. Like it snaps right in there. It's plastic connector. I wonder why they went away from the magnetic. I thought that was fine. All right, so you have that. Part of the base here. Instructions. Looks like okay, I guess the reason they had the bangs as a separate piece is because you have alternate bangs as well. So you could have his hair messy in the front, or you can have it groomed like so. So, okay, I get it, but that doesn't mean it looks any better to have these lines here. All right, so it looks we have an alternate cowl here. And this one has some additional weathering on the bottom, and it's frayed, but it also has some wire shaping to it all along here, and then it curves along the back and all along here, nothing on the bottom. So I suppose if you wanted to do sort of waviness in the wind, you can't really do that because it lacks the wire at the bottom here. But if you wanted to have it out a little bit, you can definitely accomplish that here. Okay, and pretty simple snap closure here on the 2 separate sections. So with this, let me raise this camera up a little bit. It's got this metallic grating on the bottom here, followed by some cement here. Looks like. Oh, all right. Let me get this in here. Boy, that is not cooperating. There we go. Okay. So you have the clasp is right here. We're used to seeing this. It's got a spring closure to it. However, like I said in my last Hot Toys video, figures are starting to steer away from having the stands because you have such a beautiful base, and then you have this ugly stand. They're starting to go towards magnetic bases. So just like the recent review I did with the T1000, where that ugly stand, black stand was in the background, got the same thing going on here. But it's nicely weathered. You got the broken brickwork here. You got the ladder here on the back, all twisted and mangled. All of it's nicely weathered. So I can't complain too much, but it would have been nice. And we got these 2 things. I don't know what those are for. I'll read in the instructions. I Maybe they go down here? No. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's go towards the accessories now. All right, so we've got his rifle, and it's got 2 loops here, metal loops. The buttstock comes back, and that's pretty much it. No other movements there. Got a, I think this is the grappling hook gun. No movement on this as well. Looks like we have 2 different options for the grappling hooks. One is it's sort of in the process of coming out, and then the other one where it's out fully, like so. Looks like this is, well, I can't tell what that is. I'll have to look at the instructions, but it's got the emblem on the end of it. I'll just pull these out right here. It looks like we've got, I want to say it's a grenade. We've got a few different sets of hands here. And I don't even know what that is. We'll look that up as well. We've got some batarangs. We've got this here. I don't know what that is. And then some additional hooks. And then, of course, the thing to move around the eyeballs that's practically useless. Because I always have a challenge using that. All right, so if you want to answer questions regarding some of the accessories, let me look at the instruction manual. We'll set this figure up. We'll do a side-by-side with the 1.0, make some comparisons, and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, we're back. So I set up the figure. I decided to do something with the gun firing, the grappling hook, and you know, on a shelf, popping off a shelf. It looks awesome. Really outstanding figure. So one thing they did that's ingenious, since this is the deluxe version, the original one just came with the metal grating part. This whole back wall with the ladder doesn't exist with the standard figure. So you can switch it to either side. So you either have this side with the ladder, implementing the ladder, or you switch around that grating to this side and the ladder's in the background. So whatever your preference is, if you want to incorporate the ladder like I did here, you would have it on this side. I think that looks fantastic. That's a nice additional option. I did find out through reading the instructions that this little thing here is kind of like brass knuckles. So he grips it like this between his fingers and then smashes people in the face with the front end. The instructions gave me no indication on what this little square piece is. Put something in the comments if you have any idea from the film what this is, or if you have the figure and you figured it out. So let's do a side-by-side with the 1.0 here. Quite a few differences. It's almost like 2 different figures entirely. They are both, according to the box, from Batman, well, no, actually. So technically it's, maybe I just have the wrong figures. Maybe that's what it is. So there's a difference in coloring, and there's also a difference in pattern and a few other minor differences that made me believe that this was from 2 different films. I get confused. So this is, the newest figure here is from Batman versus Superman. And the one that I have is from Justice League. Yes, Justice League. So there's a difference in the color scheme, there's a difference in the pattern, but one thing I'll say, just as far as improvements in the figure making process, the 1.0 version, it's very rubbery. And this one, it does feel more like actual material. It has a little bit more give to it in that regard. This one also had this magnetic remote thing that snaps onto him. This one didn't. Also, the way that the head sculpts were done was different as well. So rather than having moving eyeballs, you had just the eye section changed behind the head and the inside. So I mean, you have two options. One, he's looking left, and one he's looking right. At least with the scrolling eyes, you can have it in any direction you want. You could have him cross-eyed if you want. Like the new version, you had two different, well, you had three different options. He's wearing one right now. If you like teeth exposed, the full teeth exposure on the 1.0 versus the 2.0 was a lot better. Now, another improvement over the original. So aside from the scrolling eyes, now I think that's the biggest difference in the two heads right here. If you look at all the features, mouth individually, nose individually, forehead, shape of the face, jawline, all pretty similar between the two of the figures. The biggest difference is in the eyes. And the thing there is, you can tell there's some separation from the head sculpt with the rolling eyes. The eyes do look better in the 1.0 here, but obviously you don't get the moving feature. The other thing is, they have the head sculpt move independently of the neck, right? And this one you're pretty stuck. Also, on the original one, the hair is definitely grayer, and you don't have the bang changes like I showed you earlier. Now, these plastic pieces, as you can tell already, they're for keeping the heads on, if you want to display them, maybe on the base or on the side, so you could have the heads sitting right next to them. The other figure had more limited selection of accessories. So here's everything that came with the original one. The wire in the grappling hook is black versus the new one where it is still black. Oh, is it? Yeah, still black. A few different more options for the grappling hooks. And it also has this one. And as you can see, there is hardly any, maybe the wood in the handle looks a little bit darker in the original. Otherwise, I think they used pretty much the same sculpt for making both of these. One thing I did notice though, so I have it like, this is the pose that was in the instructions. And if you notice, when you bend the kneecap doesn't come out as much as it should. It's very rounded, so it looks pretty fake. You can tell in the other knee as well. It looks a little off. So that's one thing to make note of if you're posing the figure. Otherwise, I like too that you have two options. So I thought that both of these were the same. But this one has no seam because you can't move the head independently of the neck, and this one you can. So the head is separate from the neck. You have the seam, but at least you can move it, right? Now, I think I would have preferred neither. I think I would have preferred that you had a very flexible rubber so that there's no seam and you get the head turns appropriately. I think they could have done that. Otherwise, I do like the I do like the Batman versus Superman version of his suit versus the Justice League version. And that's primarily because I personally like the separation in color between the black and the gray. This one is more subdued and blended. You could hardly see the symbol on his chest. It's so subdued. You might think this one's more stealthy. I don't like it that way. And not only that, it's got some glossiness to it. And I prefer this rustic finish on his other costume. You also get some very nice separation in the abs. It's just a very, very nice figure. Usually you'd only be able to get this kind of detailing in the body with a sculpture. And obviously the limitation of a sculpture is it's not posable. It's just kind of stuck. This, I think, is, you know, a good meeting in the middle. Scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this figure a 9.4. My biggest issue, like I said, is the kneecaps. Otherwise, a very solid figure. No regrets in this purchase. I'll be getting rid of the old one for sure. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next time.